I've worked as a janitor at Meadow Ridge Elementary for over 20 years. People don't usually notice folks like me, and that's okay. I sweep the halls, clean up after kids, and fix what's broken. I see a lot, hear a lot, but I keep to myself. That's just who I am. It was a Friday afternoon in late October when I found him. The school had mostly emptied out. The halls, once full of kids laughing and running, were quiet. I was making my usual rounds, pushing my cleaning cart past the second-grade wing, when I heard it. A soft sound, almost like a whimper. At first I thought maybe I imagined it, but there it was again, a little sniffle, followed by the kind of crying that kids do when they're trying real hard not to cry. I stopped in front of the supply closet near room 2B and turned my head toward the noise. I followed it to the small reading nook tucked in the corner by the library, kind of a forgotten spot with beanbags and shelves of old books. That's where I saw him. He was maybe 6 or 7, curled up tight, knees hugged to his chest, tears streaking down his face. His backpack lay beside him, unzipped and spilling out papers. He was trying to hide, but he wasn't doing a very good job of it. I knelt down slowly so I wouldn't scare him. "Hey there, buddy," I said gently. "You okay?" He looked up, startled. His eyes were red and puffy, and he didn't say anything at first. Just stared at me like I might yell or send him to the principal. "It's all right," I told him. "You don't have to be scared." "I'm Mr. Harold? I work here. You got a name?" He wiped his nose with his sleeve and mumbled, "Jamie." "Well, hi, Jamie," I said, giving him a small smile. "It's getting late. School's been out a while. You waiting for someone to pick? You up?" He looked away, down at the floor. I could see his chin start to tremble again. "My mom didn't come," he whispered. Something in the way he said it made my heart squeeze a little. I sat on the floor next to him, careful not to crowd him. "You been sitting here the whole time?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "I waited in the office for a long time. Then I came here." I glanced at the clock on the wall. It was almost 5. "You hungry?" I asked him. He nodded again. "Well, let's see what we can find," I said, getting to my feet. "Come on, Jamie." We walked to the break room where I had some vending machine snacks. I gave him a granola bar and a juice box from the stash I kept in my locker. He sat at the table quietly eating, while I called the front office. No answer. Then, I tried the emergency contact list on the bulletin board. His mom's number was there. I called. Straight to voicemail. I tried twice more. Still nothing. "Do you have any other family, Jamie?" I asked him. "My grandma," he said. "But she lives far. I don't know her number." It was clear something was wrong. I made a decision right then. I wasn't going to leave him alone. "All right, Jamie," I said. "You're gonna hang out with me for a bit, okay? We'll figure this out." He nodded, trusting me in a way that caught me off guard. I kept him close while I finished some light cleaning, talking to him as we walked through the halls. He told me he was in Miss Carter's class. He liked drawing dinosaurs, and his favorite color was green. He didn't talk much, but when he did, it was soft and sweet. Later I walked him back to the front office, hoping someone had come looking. But it was still empty. The sun had started to go down. I knew I couldn't just leave him. "Would it be okay if you came with me for a little while?" I asked. "We'll stay close, just until we find your mom." He hesitated, then gave a small nod. "My apartment isn't much, just 2 rooms above a hardware store, but it's warm and safe." I called the police on the way, just to let them know what was going on. They told me they'd send someone to check in soon. Jamie sat on my old couch with a blanket while I made some grilled cheese sandwiches. We ate dinner, and then he looked at me and said something I'll never forget. "Do you think my mom forgot about me?" I put my sandwich down and looked him in the eye. "No, Jamie. I don't think she forgot. Something must have happened. But we're going to find out, okay? You're not alone." He nodded slowly, trying to be brave. A knock came at the door an hour later. It was Officer Daniels, someone I knew from around town. He stepped inside and spoke gently to Jamie, asked him some questions. Jamie told him what he told me, that his mom had promised to pick him up but never came. The officer sighed and stepped into the hallway to talk to me privately. "Harold," he said quietly, "we've been trying to reach the boy's mother since this morning. She didn't show up for work, and her phone's off." "Something's not right, is it?" I asked. He shook his head. "No, it's not. We're trying to get a hold of child services, but it might take time. In the meantime, would you be willing to keep him overnight? Just until we can get someone here." I didn't even think twice. "Of course," I said. Jamie slept in my bed that night while I took the couch. I left the door open so he could see me if he got scared. Around midnight I heard him crying again, quietly into the pillow. I got up and sat by his side until he fell asleep. The next day, the truth came out. His mother had been found unconscious in her apartment. A neighbor had finally called the police after seeing her mail pile up and hearing Jamie's dog barking non-stop. She'd suffered a drug overdose. They got her to the hospital in time, but barely. Jamie didn't know, not right away. When the social worker came to take him, I asked if I could go with them, to help explain, to be there. When we sat in the small office and the social worker gently told Jamie his mom was sick, I watched his little face go blank. He didn't cry. He just stared at his hands. "Can I see her?" he asked. "Not yet," the woman said softly. "But we're going to make sure she gets help. And we're going to take care of you too." Jamie turned to me, eyes wide. "Will you still be there?" he asked. I swallowed hard. "Yes, buddy," I said. "I'll be around, I promise." The weeks after that were hard. Jamie was placed in temporary care, but I stayed in touch. Visited him when I could. I brought him sketch pads and crayons. He started drawing again. Lots of dinosaurs, always with bright green skin. His mother entered a treatment program. She worked hard, really hard. After a few months, she was clean, attending meetings, and fighting to get her boy back. When she was finally allowed to see him, she broke down crying the moment he walked into the room. Jamie stood there, then ran into her arms. I stood back, watching. Tears filled my eyes too. He was going home. Not every story ends like this. I know that. I've seen enough to understand how rare this kind of hope is, but Jamie and his mom, they made it. A few weeks after he went back home, Jamie came to visit the school with his mom. He ran down the hall and hugged me like I was his favorite uncle. "Mr. Harold," he shouted. "Guess what? Mom made me pancakes this morning." His mother walked up, eyes shining. "I can never thank you enough," she said. "You were there for my son when no one else was." I just smiled and nodded. "Take care of each other," I said. And they did. Every so often, Jamie still draws me pictures. Sometimes he visits after school. He even calls me Uncle Harold now. It's funny. All I ever wanted was to keep the halls clean and fix what was broken. I never imagined that, one day, I'd help fix a broken family too.